touch the wall beside you right now, solid, protective. Now imagine that wall is alive, weighs several tons, and is coming toward you with tusks long enough to punch through your body. You have no gun, no vehicle, no steel, and no emergency room. Just wood, stone, and the people standing beside you. Around 13,000 years ago, humans repeatedly faced animals built like tanks. Mammoths towered above them. Glyptodons carried domed armor across their backs. So how did something as soft and breakable as you kill something like that without dying? In 1952, archaeologist Emil Horry excavated the Naco site in Arizona, where 8 Clovis points were found with the remains of a single mammoth. That discovery preserved the aftermath, not the fight. Stone points beside bones cannot tell you who screamed, who slipped, or how close those tusks came, but they reveal something important. The hunters did not need to overpower the mammoth. They needed to control one terrible moment. Your first weapon is not the spear, it is refusal. You do not attack the strongest animal on an open plain simply because it looks impressive. A healthy adult mammoth can weigh several tons, run faster than you expect, and strike sideways with its tusks. One swing could open your stomach or break your ribs so badly that you would never stand again. So you wait. You watch the herd for hours, perhaps days. Which animal limps? Which one is young, old, exhausted, trapped near soft ground, or separated from the adults? You study where it drinks and which path it takes through a ravine. The hunt begins long before anyone raises a weapon. That patience is visible in the places where kills happened. At sites such as Leaner and Murray Springs in Arizona, mammoth remains were found near ancient water sources with Clovis artifacts. Water attracts thirsty animals, but it also creates mud, steep banks, narrow approaches, and predictable movement. For a hunter, the landscape becomes part of the weapon. Forget the movie version where 50 people chase an entire herd over a cliff. Mass stampedes may have happened in some hunts, but archaeologists cannot treat them as the universal method. Driving several panicked mammoths would be almost impossible to control. A more realistic target is one animal placed at a disadvantage, then surrounded by humans who understand exactly where it can still move. Now you have to get close. A Clovis point is beautifully shaped, but it is not a magic bullet. The stone cuts because force drives its edge through hide and muscle. That may mean throwing from short range, stabbing with a hafted spear, or striking repeatedly with different weapons. Either way, the distance between hunter and mammoth can become frighteningly small. Aim at the massive skull, and your point may glance off bone. Strike high into the body, and thick tissue may swallow the weapon without quickly stopping the animal. The safer opportunities are around the ribs, belly, flank, and legs, especially when the animal turns or struggles. But reaching those places puts you beside the feet, tusks, and trunk. The first wound may make the danger worse. A wounded mammoth does not politely collapse. It can charge, pivot, crush a hunter into the ground, or disappear with an expensive spear still embedded in its body. The hunters must keep pressure on it while leaving an escape route for themselves. One person distracts, another attacks from the side. Others shout, thrust, retrieve weapons, and watch for a sudden turn. No archaeological site records the commands they used. Teamwork does, however, solve the physical problem better than individual heroism. Humans can approach from several directions, replace exhausted hunters, and attack again after the animal drives one person away. The mammoth is stronger than every member of the group. It cannot face all of them at once. And then there is the glyptodon. Imagine an armadillo enlarged until it is roughly the size of a small car. Its head is low, its body sits beneath a rigid shell made from thousands of fused bony plates. Some relatives carried heavily armored tails, and the largest forms weighed well over a ton. A spear thrown into the top of that dome might accomplish little beyond making the animal furious. Yet armor creates its own problem. It protects the back, not every opening beneath it. The neck, face, legs, and softer underside remain vulnerable. If hunters could turn the animal, pin it against rough ground, or attack where the shell ended, the living tank became flesh again. This would still be a viciously dangerous job. You cannot simply flip a ton of struggling muscle like a modern armadillo. You harass it from different angles. You force it toward broken ground, mud, or a bank where turning becomes difficult. Then someone must enter the reach of its head and tail to strike at an exposed opening. That person may be your sibling. Prehistoric hunters did not possess a secret immunity to fear. A broken leg could mean infection, dependence, or death. A deep puncture could bleed internally, even if the skin closed. Archaeologists find healed fractures in ancient skeletons, proof that people survived severe injuries with help, but a mammoth hunt offered injuries that no amount of care could repair. Why take the chance? Because one successful kill could transform the survival prospects of everyone you knew. A mammoth was not merely a mountain of meat, it held fat, and fat was critical when cold conditions and a meat-heavy diet made calories difficult to obtain. Its hide could provide raw material. Tendons could become bindings, bones and ivory could become tools, supports, handles, or fuel where wood was scarce. The carcass also created an immediate race against time. Several tons of flesh are useless if bacteria, insects, and scavengers take them first. Wolves, big cats, and other carnivores can smell the opportunity. Your group must cut through skin. Remove valuable fat, separate joints, transport heavy pieces, and defend the site before the meat spoils. This is where the image of one heroic hunter finally collapses. Killing the animal is only one phase of a community operation. Children can carry smaller pieces. Skilled adults slice around joints with stone flakes sharper than they appear. Others maintain fires, process hides, guard the perimeter, and move food toward camp. The carcass may also attract people from beyond your immediate band. A giant animal can provide more fresh meat than a small group can consume quickly. Sharing creates obligations, alliances, and memories. The hunter who risks death is not gambling for one dinner. The payoff can strengthen an entire social network. But giant prey was never free food. Mammoths reproduced slowly. They moved across enormous territories. Hunts failed, animals escaped, points snapped, and hunters returned with nothing. Many prehistoric people relied far more regularly on plants, fish, shellfish, rabbits, deer, and whatever could be gathered without standing beneath a furious elephant. That makes the successful megafauna hunt even more revealing. Humans did not dominate because their bodies became stronger than armor, tusks, or muscle. They dominated because they could choose the battlefield, communicate a plan, remember an animal's habits, and concentrate many small weapons on one vulnerable target. The deadliest tool may have been the shared picture inside their minds. Everyone had to understand where the animal should move, when to close in, and when to run. A hunter acting too early could destroy the ambush. A hunter acting too late could leave someone alone in front of the charge. So how did soft-bodied humans kill animals built like tanks? They did not fight the armor. They attacked the choices around it, turning patience, terrain, and trust into a weapon powerful enough to bring down giants. And the next question is, what happened when those giants finally disappeared?